Hello and welcome to the But I'm Knitting podcast. My name is Ramona. You can find me all over the internet. Well, not really all over the internet, but you can find me on Ravelry as MonaLee81. You can find me on Instagram where I'm most active as Rome_Raven. And you can find me at my blog, which I try to update with some kind of show notes as to what I'm talking about for the day, called butimknitting.blogspot.ca. Today I'm doing this without notes again because I got way too lazy to actually write them down. But I have a little bit of stuff to talk about, not that much. Well, welcome to my corner of the crafting world out here in Toronto, in Canada. So, I guess I'll get started with my works in progress. We'll go from least to most. So I have my socks, my Strangling Vine Socks by Karen Burr. I haven't done anything on these ones. So where the progress keeper is, that's where it was from the week before that, and I didn't move it up. That just shows you I haven't done anything. But the yarn I'm using for it is Woolen Vine Yarns. Yeah, last week I said Woolmies. It's actually Woolen Vine Yarns in her Footsie base, which is a 80/20 BFL nylon, I believe, in the colorway Pandora. I think this will probably get a lot more work for this week for it to be done. But yeah, so this is the sock. The first one's already done, and I'm gonna have a lot left over. I realized that my feet are just not big enough to actually use a full 100-gram skein. So there we go. Okay. And so for the next one, I actually pulled out the other pair of socks I was working on, or one of the other pairs of socks I was working on. This one is the Rye Socks by Tin Can Knits, but modified for sock weight, because hers I think is a DK weight for her pattern originally. So I hadn't touched it for the longest time, and then I realized I need to put some work on it, and work on it I did. I haven't finished the sock, but I am at the point where I'm in the middle of putting in the Fish Lips Kiss heel. So this is as far as I've gotten in it. From where this stitch marker is, that's actually accurate, all the way down to here, and then on the back I've started the heel flap. You can barely see it though. But the yarn that I'm using for this is the Cascade Sock in the colorway, it has a bunch of numbers, but it's just a gray. And then for the main body of the sock, it is Knit Picks Hawthorn in the colorway the Pearl. Yeah. So I have one sock done, which was finished along with the first socks for all of my other socks. Finished like weeks ago. Second sock, I'm almost halfway there. And oh, for the needles for both of them, these are my Carbons, the DPNs, and a 0 US or it's a 0 US or a 2 millimeter. They're the only two I have, and I think the main reason that I am trying my best to get these things cleared off is because I want my needles free, and they're the only two that I have. So my next project, which I'm all excited about because this is what I mainly worked on for the week, it is my Easy Lace Shoulder Top by Gabrielle Falone on Ravelry. I got it. And so I started it last week, and check out the progress that I've done. So you see from where that little Pac-Man is all the way up until here, yeah, I did all of that. Wherever you see one of these stitch markers between them, there's about 10 rows going on. So I've gone from about 20 rows post ribbing to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 50. I added 50 rows onto it this week. I added in a color transition, but I'm in the middle of finishing that part up. But let me tell you about the yarn that I'm using so far. So the one I've talked about before. This one is Pagewood Farms. Pagewood Farms? Pagewood Glacier. Okay, hold on. Let me look it up because apparently my mind has just gone blank. I believe it's Pagewood Farms Glacier Bay in the colorway Cape Cod Cranberry. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. Really nice dark red. Okay. So that was my starting color. That's what I cast it on with and I did the ribbing with. And then I'm transitioning into this color. So the yarn balls don't look so pretty anymore because I'm actually using them. And you know, it does a whole little yarn fart, so parts, big chunks come out of the middle whenever I ball them up. So this one is Sweet Georgia. It's the Cashluxe base in the colorway Blood Orange. In some lights it looks more orange, in some lights it looks more like a reddish orange, but it's pretty good. It's pretty true to color, if you can see it there. Right. So the third color that I'm going to be adding in, but I have a while to go before I have to do that, is this one. This one is by I saved this from another project. This one is by Tannis Fiber Arts in the colorway Buttercup. I got this quite a few years ago at the Purple Pearl, and I really like the color. It's actually a little bit brighter than this, like a really like a butter yellow. I got it a few years ago, and I kept saying I'm going to use it. I started to use it, and then I'd pull it out. So the fact that it's been pulled out look how many times, and it still manages to look like this is pretty darn good. The bag that everything is being housed in is the one I got from Trailhead Yarns. Trailhead? Yes, Trailhead Yarns. I got it at the Frolic that I went to, and then these are just some buttons that I got from all over the place. I'm missing a couple of them. Some of them keep falling off, but yeah. So you could see some of my loves, and you can, yeah. I'm a big fan of Pokemon, so when I got that, I kind of had to put that on there. So that is everything for my sweater. For new projects, I haven't cast on anything new. This was pretty much my newest thing. Um, I have been thinking about, I really wanted to cast on a shawl, and I just had it in my head. The last pattern I got from Melanie Berg, it's a shawl, Whiskey-fied, yes. That one, I really do want to cast that one on, but I don't have enough of any one color to do it. It's a one color shawl, and I want to keep it like that. So my plan is, after I do this podcast, is to dye another skein of that peach yarn I dyed last week. I have one skein. I got enough to make another one, so I'm gonna make that one today, and I'm gonna try for another gray, like the Solivar one from last week. I'm going to try making both of those and see which one I decide that I want to do. I did have two more skeins, but one of them is just a darker shade of orange than the peach I did last week, and the other one is the Cheeto Dust print. So those are just sitting in my room. It's not much different from what I've done before, but I'm looking forward to getting to do that. I was gonna do it last night, but then I think, what was I doing? I was cleaning my room, and then I was winding yarn while watching my PVR copy of, what's it called? Arrow, and then I was watching Supergirl, and I had to be at work for 6:30 this morning, so it's just, as I'm like winding the yarn, I'm there like, no, I'm going to my bed. So I wound the yarn and everything. I'll gonna dye it today, so hopefully next week it will either be in skein format, or maybe I would have cast it on by now. I'll have to see whether or not I have any of the right needle sizes available. I hope to make a good amount of progress on that. So what else is there today? Well, I do have well, it's not really stash enhancement, because it can be knitting related, but it's not primarily knitting related. So I work at a craft store, and I don't actually, well, I like working in there because of the knitting group that I started out with. I'm kind of I guess what you would call a yarn snob. I think I talked about this in episode 1 and 2, or 2. So I very rarely, if ever, buy yarn from there. The only thing that I would really buy from there is Patton's Croy, and I have another place in Toronto that I can get it for a better deal at a certain time of the year, and I'll just buy a bunch of them then. So but I do like their beading section, so I have been inside there, and I ended up leaving in the past week or so. I've left with a few things, so I guess I'll just show them all. So here is one. It's a set of beads that are little dragonflies, silver dragonflies on black. I think it's really quite pretty, and I can't wait to turn them into either stitch markers or progress keepers. I'm currently having to rebuild my selection due to the fact that I lost my my little TARDIS bag last week, or the week before last, and it's not at my friend's house like I hoped it was, and it wasn't in the car like I thought it was. It's just gone, so that means I need to get pliers and cutters again and try to build up what I have. But it's still a learning process in general for me, so that's probably going to come maybe next week. Today though, they had an excellent buy one get one free, and then on top of that, throw my employee discount on it. Trust me, there is no way I wasn't leaving without something today. So these ones are just plain black. So it's like shiny on the front and matte on the side, which I'm a very big fan of. I like the combination because most people go for shiny, and that's never me. I usually go for like my mother would call it plain. I go for the non-shiny. That's usually my preference in most things. So I got these, so I'm happy with that. And the other one that I got, I guess, for free are these ones. These I had before, and these were inside my little bag that I lost with all my stuff. So they're just matte black beads. So these can just be added onto whatever else I have, and to make stitch markers or progress keepers. I also got, is it jewelry wire or beading wire? It's a thin metal that's bendable. I think I just forgot to bring it out with me, so we'll just forget about that. There's just a spool of that. I'm going to try that out and see how I like that, instead of using the ones that are already like a straight stick and you actually have to use pliers to turn them. As a newbie to this, it takes a lot more work than what I want to put into it right now, and because it doesn't look the way that I want to at all, and the edges end up being sharp and catching onto things, I've learned. So I'm gonna leave those for now and try and see where I go from there. So I guess, okay, I guess that goes through all of my knitting stuff. Nothing finished. Works in progress. And nothing new cast on. That's it. And I got no yarn to show because I didn't dye anymore, really. Okay, so what has happened to me this week? Um, I had a great time, in a sense, hanging out with my brother. I'm like the oldest of 5 kids, so but only one of them I live only one of them I live with, and the other 3 kids they live with my dad. They don't live close to here at all. But um, me and my brother, we have a tendency to like we don't talk very much, but I think that's mostly because we're just so busy doing our own stuff. But I have to discuss with him what we're gonna do for Mother's Day, because for the past few years, he's been the one who's been in charge of getting Mom a Mother's Day gift, and then I help put it together, and then we give it to her. This year, though, we bought different things. So I decided to take the easy route because my mother, in a sense, can be hard to shop for, in my personal opinion. You can't take her out to dinner because she doesn't really like eating out. She doesn't trust a lot of other people's food, so that cuts that out of the equation. Um, People, like one year I thought, oh, I'll go to somewhere like David's Tea and get her like a specialty tea. But then once they showed me this bulb of tea that blooms in hot water, I'm there like, my mother would never stay still long enough to even realize that the tea actually did that, so that would be pretty much a waste of money. Um, and that year we actually just got her like regular tea, like chamomile, that we can just pick up at the grocery store. Um, but what my mom is a baker, and last week she had pretty much turned the entire kitchen upside down trying to find her 10-inch baking pans. So she ended up finding it, but I said, Mom, you're really having a problem with this. Do you need more? She's like, no, 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 don't worry about it. I'm like, Mom, Mother's Day is coming up, and I have no idea what to actually get you. Um, you know, if that's what you want, let me know. I know where to go get it. So she's like, okay, fine. So I got her baking pans. My brother ended up getting her a lovely bouquet of flowers and I think it was a perfume that she really wanted. She basically told us exactly what she wanted, and that just made life so much easier. My aunt decided to even chip in on it to the point that my brother was like that she couldn't put her gift beside our gift because he didn't want my aunt showing him up. I thought it was hilarious, so my aunt had taken everything and put it just outside of my mom's bedroom door, because my mother works on Sundays every Sunday, so she's never actually home for stuff like Mother's Day. So when she got home from work, she saw all the stuff there, and my aunt's gift was inside the room when she got inside there. So my brother got his way, and he wasn't, in a sense, upstaged by my aunt. She said my mom was happy with what she got. You know, he even got her, I think he got her a travel mug. Yeah, because she has a tendency to take everybody else's travel mug and then nobody can find what they're looking for. So she got a travel mug, she got cake pan, she got flowers, she got perfume. Um, oh, my brother also got her a gas card. Smart boy, because my mom always needs that stuff. Um, yeah, so that was it for Mother's Day for that. Um, on Sunday night, actually on Friday night, my grandfather invited me to go out to a banquet that his church was hosting, which was pretty cool. It was a fundraiser, but I don't remember what the fundraiser was for. But my grandfather sang again, and I was very happy to hear him. Um, one of my friends, or well, old friends, because I have a lot of friends, you know, you grow up with them, but then you don't see them very much anymore. But when you see each other, they're like, hey, long time no see. So one of them, she sang, and she did an amazing job, especially considering she was getting over a cold and her voice was going in and out. But she did a really good job. And I was happy to see another set of my friends who I hadn't seen in a while. They decided to come on out. Um, let's see. No, there are a lot of people there, but yeah, I was really happy to get to hear my grandfather sing because I always like hearing him sing. But I kind of lucked out, I guess, in a sense, is I turned to him and I asked him what he was singing for the night. He's like, well, it might not be the right song for this kind of an occasion, but um, but I'm gonna sing it. And so he started to sing it to me in my ear. He was like leaning right over to my ear and singing it to me. And I'm like sitting down there and I'm like, Grandpa, I've never heard this song. He's like, really? You've never heard me sing? And I'm like, no, Grandpa, I've never heard you sing this song. But he ended up singing to me the entire song from beginning to end. And then when they called him up, he went up and he did his song, and he sang that entire song, and then decided, hold on a second, it's Mother's Day. I need to sing a song about mothers too. So he did, and I was really happy to hear him. So he was happy. What else was there? Yeah, that was pretty much it for my week. I didn't really do all that much, other than no, that doesn't really count. Well, kind of. Um, I was asked by my Tuesday knitting circle. Once I decided I was going to, I showed them the picture of the yarn that I dyed last week, Tuesday. I showed it to them on Tuesday for the yarn that I dyed the week before. And some of the ladies were actually really interested in learning about dyeing yarn. And the place that we're having our knitting circle right now has a kitchen built into it. So some of them wanted to learn how to use it, how to do it. And I said I would show them how to do it with Kool-Aid. um, some of them were wanting to do it on cotton, and I was telling them, cotton's not since it's a public kitchen and anybody comes in, I didn't want to do it on cotton because number one, I have never tried dyeing on cotton. I've like done tie dyeing like when I was in grade 2. That was so long ago that I barely even remember. Um, but mainly because it's such a publicly used kitchen, I didn't want to use anything that could potentially harm somebody's system. I didn't want to use it in the public sink and all of that kind of stuff. So I told them I would show them how to do it with Kool-Aid, but they have to bring actual wool, um, not not acrylic yarn that they call wool. I'm talking about wool, like make maybe something at least 50% wool for me to show it to them. And so some of them are interested, some of them are not. But I have to come up with, like, I guess a list of exactly what they need, and so that they can, in a sense, be ready to go. So it's pretty much just Kool-Aid packets, hot water, and yarn, and that's pretty much it. Once they have those, otherwise it's just hanging it up to dry. That's pretty much it. Um, so so a reminder to myself, I gotta write up a list as to what everybody needs to bring to in order to do this. So sometime within the next few weeks, we'll see how that goes. Um, yeah, so that's it for me, and it was nice hanging out with all of you. Oh, I got a message today from a watcher, viewer, listener. Well, it's more than listening. About starting a Ravelry group, and I had mentioned, I think back in episode 2, I was contemplating whether or not to do one. Um, and the response I got was pretty much positive, but I still haven't done it yet. So hopefully by my next episode, I will have a Ravelry group going. I have no idea how to manage one. I figured out how to start them. So we'll see how well that goes. Um, I'm just letting you guys know from now. I'm not much. You know what? No, leave it. Let's just leave it like that. I will do my best to keep this thing up. because I'm like, if I'm enjoying doing podcasts like this and telling people about what I'm doing, then I should be okay with with um with doing something like starting a Ravelry group and really talking to people online. It's just not something I do very often, but it's not impossible, and it could be really fun. So yeah. So it was nice talking to you guys, and thank you for watching. And all those who are new, welcome. And I hope to hear from you again. And bye.